In this video, we're going to be covering our hip abduction contract relax method. So the purpose of this is to allow us to strengthen both the adductors as well as the abductors here. So the adductors are going to be the inner thigh muscles. The abductors will be outside on the lateral portion of the hips. And the idea here is to increase our range of motion, but also strength within that range of motion for hip abduction. So the setup for this, what we're going to use is some kind of object to sit on top of, and then we want to have a wall behind us that allows it to make it easier to remain in an upright position. I want to ensure when I set up for my position here, I'm not going to allow the spine to just flex down. From there, we're going to get into our bear sit position. So for the bear sit, essentially what I'm looking for is the heels to be directly in front of the knees. So my two tibias here, my two lower legs are going to be parallel to one another. We don't want those heels too far in or all the way extended out in front of us. From here, we're then going to get into whatever hip flexion that we can get into. So what I mean by that is I'm going to try and bring those knees closer towards me or towards the wall. And this is going to look different for everyone here based on the range of motion they have accessible. Now, once I'm in that position, I'm going to take my forearms, or I can place two blocks to put my arms against. But either way, we're going to create contact with those inner thighs here. And then we're going to allow those forearms to lightly push against the thighs to push the knees and hips towards the floor, and that's going to generate a little bit more of that passive stretch on the inner thigh. We may hold this stretch for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on what is prescribed, and then following that, we're going to produce our contract and relax method of strengthening these areas. So what I mean by that is for the first contraction, I'm going to tense up my body, and then I'm going to focus on trying to close the hips or the knees towards each other, contracting and engaging and generating tension on the inner muscles here, but my forearms are going to work to push back against whatever force is being generated inwards. That way, I'm going to feel these muscles working, but we're not going to see any movement of the hips themselves. This will last for about 5 seconds. So I'll take a deep breath in. Exhale, generate that tension, squeeze, and then I'm going to slowly start to try and push those thighs in towards each other. I start to feel these muscles engaging. Continue doing so for the prescribed time of 5 seconds. Then we relax, and now we do the opposite motion, which is going to be trying to pull the hips further apart. So from here, still maintaining tension, and I'm going to gradually try to pull the knees away from the forearms and closer towards the floor. I'm starting to feel a lot of engagement through the outer portion of the hips here. I continue for about 5 seconds, relax, and then we repeat. Start again, generate that tension, push and close inwards, 5 seconds, relax, start to pull apart gradually, and relax. So we're going to perform these for the prescribed number of reps. A key thing here is to ensure that we don't try to actively or very quickly, rapidly generate that squeeze or that pull. It's a gradual push and pull when we're producing that motion.